Welcome back to our Applied Data Science class. Today we will focus on how to set up a project, and for this we use a project framework CRISP-DM. Why is it of importance? So the overall projects around data, it's not new. In the year 2000 they had already a lot of projects in the field of data mining, so how to extract information from a lot of data. And in 2000 a consortium of different companies came up with a clear methodology how to approach these data problems. And I think this kind of methodology, which was developed already a long time ago, we can really good apply also to data science problems. So what is it all about? So in the center there's this data, and everything starts from business understanding. So all projects in industry, all projects you're doing personally, you should define first the purpose, so business understanding. Then where and how to gather the data, so you need data understanding. The data preparation means, okay, how to transform it. Modeling, we will go later into this modeling and individual stages. So modeling means, okay, what kind of mathematical model are we doing? Evaluation, how good is the result, and deployment. So the entire CRISP process is a highly iterative process. It's not a stringent process, do this and that, but always with going back between these individual stages. And this aligns very well to agile development principles when you're working in a team where you define sprints and objectives for the next couple of weeks or days, and then going in an iterative style through it. One thing up front, business understanding is key for nearly everything. That's really important. So why is this so important to understand these individual things? Each of these steps is answering more or less an individual question. So the business understanding is all about why we do this. The data understanding is about which data to use, data preparation, how to handle the data. The modeling, it's all about the math, which math to apply, the evaluation, which benefit is possible, deployment, how to proceed. So this entire cycle of CRISP-DM is mainly focusing on so-called explorative data analysis. It means it is used quite at the beginning of a project phase where we should concentrate on the value identification and value extraction. The overall CRISP methodology, so the documents, I hope this link is still active. I think I cross-checked it a couple of weeks ago, so the link is still active. So the document of this CRISP-DM describes exactly which task has to be done in which phase of the project. It helps a lot to ask correct questions on what kind of data we should gather and what kind of documentation we have to do during a project. So, for example, during the business understanding, it's all about, okay, what is about the business objective, what is the current situation, what is the success of a project, and to set up a project plan. This individual described task helps a lot to structure your entire project, and also within this lecture we will go through each of these phases along with our data set which we get from the internet, and see how we can structure each individual tasks and perform topics on this. So what are we doing? So we walk through different aspects of this entire learning journey. We go through Python notebooks to show some fragments in pieces, so you have to know that it's quite complex to do it in theoretically. The CRISP-DM is only one sub-part of the overall journey big enterprises are doing. It's typically they have to focus on four major different aspects. Of course, you can model it in many more steps, but for me, 4 steps are of high interest. Number 1, business first. So it's all about value case identification or value case proof. And in this first pillar, also the CRISP-DM belongs to this first phase. So it's all about rapid prototyping, rapid identification, and proof of value. On top, large enterprises, they have to manage a data ecosystem from internal to external data and have a governance structure on top. Managing this data structure and data governance is really challenging, because typically in enterprises they have maybe 15 to 30, 50 different systems in the background. So the data governance and to manage this, it's highly challenging. Think about this: if we are doing a new machine learning model, we have to integrate this kind of models somehow in the processes and also in the existing IT. So the enterprise process and IT integration, this is where most of the machine learning projects stop in industry, because to deploy this kind of applications is really a challenge, and it's a new endeavor for many industries. The biggest part, however, is the data culture and the change for people. And you have to know that we are in the age of digital transformation, and this is really a point which also I underestimated heavily at the very beginning when I started my career in industry. We have to put the human in focus, or in the center of all activities, and really clarify and discuss all individual steps and teach our environment towards these new technologies. So in summary, it's a long journey, and with the Script DM and also this lecture, we focus only on a small subset of this entire journey. The Script DM belongs to this first phase.